We are what we are, not only because we think, but because we can remember what we have thought about. Every thought we have, every word we speak, every action we engage in, we owe to our memory, to the ability of our brains to record and store our experiences. Memory is the glue that binds our mental life, the scaffolding that holds our personal history, and that makes it possible to grow and change throughout life. Larry R. Squire and Eric R. Kendall. Although no one has ever seen a thought or a memory being made, this has perplexed scientists for ages, which was once thought of a matter of philosophers and psychologists. Scientists have now determined there is no specific location in your brain that forms memories. Special parts of the brain encode different aspects of memory, such as language, vision, olfactory, and motor skills. We experience our world through our senses and rely on our senses to make memories. For example, if you were to take your friend to the beach who is deaf, they won't be able to remember the sounds of the waves crashing in on the shore, the seagulls fighting over that last French fry, or the children playing and screaming over ice cream. The only way for a brain to make and store memories depends on its plasticity.
There are three parts of our brain that store memory: the hippocampus, the cerebrum, and your cerebellum. Our long-term memory is divided into two subdivisions: explicit and implicit. For now, we will focus on the explicit memory. Our explicit memory is also known as our declarative memory. It is called our declarative memory because conscious thought is needed to allow us to recall people's names, descriptions, associations, and other various aspects. Your explicit memory is then also divided into two subcategories called episodic memory and your semantic memory. Episodic memory is the conscious recall of life events. Your episodic memory will allow for a mental picture or video from an episode of your life, which is why you were able to remember walking across the stage of your K-5 graduation.
The more intense of an experience emotionally, the more severe or the more vivid your memory will be on that. Such as, if you were to witness a murder being committed, you'll be able to relay these details and information to the inspector and the police because it was such a traumatic experience for you, rather than while you speak to your father over dinner about what you did in history class. You'll be able to remember specific details about the murder and not your history test.
Your episodic memory is believed to be encoded in your hippocampus and your cerebral cortex. The next subcategory of explicit memory is your semantic memory. Your semantic memory is what allows you to recall basic information, also known as textbook learning, or information that is thought of as general knowledge. For example, you don't remember when you exactly learned your states, but you can still recall a majority of them without having to look at a map. Scientists disagree with one another about the location semantic memories are encoded or stored. They believe the memories are encoded in your hippocampus. Semantic memories range from strong, which would be your recall, to weak, which is just a basic familiarity with the topic. These memories are better sustained over time. Implicit memory is the second subdivision of long-term memory. Implicit memory is also known as your procedural memory. It is called your procedural memory because it is the unconscious memory of skills, more specifically how to do things such as driving, tying your shoes, and running, or talking. This memory is part of your unconscious because the automatic sensory motor behaviors are so deep that we no longer have to consciously think about them. This memory allows us to carry out motor skills automatically.
For example, if you were to hop on a bike after 15 years of never riding a bike, then you'll still be able to remember how to ride your bike, even if you did learn when you were 5 years old. Our implicit memory allows us to make split decision thinking. For example, if you're driving along and all of a sudden a ball rolls out into the street, you automatically infer that there is a child playing with that ball beyond, even if you cannot see the child. Whether you've seen it in a movie or had this experience as a child, you imply that there was a child playing with the ball, therefore allowing you subconsciously to slam on the brakes so you don't hit the child.
Your hippocampus is the part of the brain that is responsible for coding and structuring memories. The hippocampus focuses on memories about people, places, and events. Some scientists believe memories are only stored in the hippocampus temporarily. That is also why your hippocampus is sometimes referred to as your short-term memory or your working memory. You're able to hold a small amount of information into your hippocampus for only a short period of time.
For example, if you had a very large exam coming up, you might be cramming for days before, but in 5 days after your exam, you won't be able to remember that information that you crammed into your mind 5 minutes before you took the exam.